What's going on, everyone? It is Ryan, and we are here at RetroGameCon 2016. It's about time. I've been waiting for this all fucking month. Well, all of last month anyway. So I almost wasn't even going to be here, but my buddy Bill over here decided to give me a ride. That was awesome of him. We have our table set up. I'll pan over that towards the end of this clip here. But we're just about to get... It's really loud. You probably can't hear me over the megaphone, but I'm going to try to do that. So I'm going to be at this table all day. Unfortunately, I was supposed to film yesterday and got lazy and decided not to. So day one's already been over. It's great. Later, I'll do a little recap of what happened in day one. But today, it looks like it's going to shape up to be really fucking good. I can't wait for this. Okay, so I've been buying shit, but I've been making money too, so that's cool. But I got myself 3 manuals. I got Dragon Warrior, Ice Hockey, and Blast-O-Master. And a Bill. Bill's in there. But not bad so far. I did mention that I didn't film it all yesterday, but yesterday I did pick up a manual for Tetris. I picked up some of those security bit screwdrivers so I can open up my carts again. And I picked up a sweet t-shirt that you'll see in the more pickups portion of this when I pick up more shit. So stay tuned for that. A little bit different. There's a lot of shit going on this year. We got some awesome panels. We got a bunch of vendors, obviously. I mean, look at this vendor floor. It's beautiful. Beautifulness. But I was actually also put on a personal mission. I have a bunch of quests to complete, apparently, and I completed none of them yesterday, and I got a couple of them complete today. I'll talk more about that later. But the one quest we're on right now is that I am going to find 2 games for my friend and try to pick them up with the money that he gave me. He gave me $105, and I'm going to go and grab a copy of Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo and Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. Let's see how we do with that. Okay, guys, so I just did my deal. I didn't get your name?
David.
David. He hooked me up really good with both Final Fantasy III and Mega Man X for how much?
95.
95 bucks. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, bud. And what's the store?
It's Play It Retro. We're located in Berwyn.
Play It Retro, Berwyn in Illinois. All right. Thank you, sir. 119, 121. That's us at Hypersonic Games. I don't know why we're called Hypersonic Games, but why not? Alright, so I'm headed to Pat the NES Punk's panel. This is the only panel today that I will be attending. Yesterday I attended Gaming Historian, and that was a great panel. He did Jeopardy, and he actually previewed and showed us what the next topic for his video is, and that's pretty cool. But I'm gonna head in. I'm gonna see if I can find myself a good spot. So I just got done with Pat the NES Punk's panel. It was a lot of fun. We shared similar interests in hair, I guess. I mean, I don't know why that came up, but it was really cool. He pretty much sold everything that he had to sell, so he pretty much just had to make it to his flight, and now I'm headed back to the booth to relieve my other booth buddies, I guess we can call them, and I'm going to sell some games. So let's get it done. So we're winding down to like the last couple hours, I think maybe even less. I have not been able to get footage of anyone that I sold stuff to. Either we were talking too long or they didn't want to be on camera. But it's alright. I made a bit of money, which is always good, and I used some of that money to buy some stuff, which again you'll see them at the end of the video. It's all good. It's all cool. Met a lot of awesome people here, aside from the normal YouTubers that are here, like Gaming Historian, Pat, and Grimsie 42 at Grafx Gaming. They were here, always phenomenal. But I met a lot of awesome, cool people too. There were a lot of cool people out here, so stick around. You'll see the end of the video soon.
Welcome back to the game room, guys. 2016's RetroGameCon has finally been concluded. It felt like it was here and then it left so quickly, even though it was now 2 days this year. Both days were really great. My apologies again for not having any video footage from day one. That was all my fault for the most part. I mean, it was a rough Friday night. I was celebrating a friend's birthday, and by the time I was up and ready and got to the convention, the only thing I cared about was what was in front of me. I didn't even think to bring the video camera out. You can call that a YouTube failure, novice YouTuber. You can rail me in the comments down below, I don't care. But it's over and done with. A lot of great memories were had, and I would like to take this quick moment to thank first Bill and Roger, the two who were able to get me out there this weekend. I did not have a way to get out there, and within the last week or so of this convention finally creeping up on us, they offered to give me a ride, not to mention share their table with them, and was able to sell some games, make some money on top of being able to just go out and meet everybody and find games for myself. So I thank you guys very, very much. I would definitely love to do this again next year. It would be really awesome. And then, of course, we'll also move on to, it was great seeing all these YouTubers and all these people who just have such a love for games that I do, and I'd like to, of course, start with Nate and Megan of the Sprite Lovers. It was great seeing them again. They were running the thing, so it was kind of hard to see them all the time. I know Saturday was probably the day I saw both of them the most, and Sunday, Nate decided to dress up, and it was kind of cool. It was great seeing them again, and I hope to see them again very soon. Being that Syracuse is only an hour from me, I don't see that not coming true. So it'd be great to see them again, but it was great seeing them at the convention. Of course, it was great to see Scott, Grimsie 42. A lot of great times to be had hanging out with him at his little table. He had a slew of amazing games to sell and at great prices, and it was great seeing him again and goofing off with him. Also, I'd like to thank Pete Dorr. I saw him. He was really great. Last year, he had a table. This year, he was just out looking for games, and it was great to see him. And I believe when I wasn't at the table, he even picked up one of my games, and it was just unfortunate that I was not there to make the transaction myself. But it was really cool seeing Pete again. And then we also have Buzzy and Jay from Grafx Gamers. I should have had more time to go over to their table and buy more stuff, though I did get a couple things, nothing too huge, but they had some really good items, and I didn't pull the trigger on getting a couple things. But oh well, we'll have to worry about that next time. But it was great seeing them, always fun goofing off with them. Shane from Rerez was there. He was running around. He was mostly at the pinball free play, just like he was last year. I don't blame him for a second. Playing pinball is absolutely great. Unfortunately, this year I did not get a chance to partake in that, but it was great seeing him. He stopped by my booth once or twice, and it was great seeing him again. Then we also had all the vendors that came back from the previous years. It was great seeing them, such as River City Retro. I actually picked up something very important that I've been looking for a long time, and we'll get into that later, of course. Then there was Larger Than Life Toys and Comics, 1-Up Games, Micro Game and Play, or Game Play and Trade, I believe is the official name. And there were so many other great vendors out there, and if I missed any booths, I apologize. I should have been more diligent, but there was a lot of great stuff to be had out there. There were a lot of great panels, and on top of all that, there were also a lot of people that I got to meet for the first time, such as Pat the NES Punk. I actually went to his panel. It was a lot of fun. We talked about hair care and whatnot, and it was a great time. Also saw Norm the Gaming Historian. He had a panel himself, and that was pretty great. We played Jeopardy, and he even got to preview like a little trailer hint at what his next video is going to be, and I can't wait to see it. The full video, when it's finally up on YouTube, that'll be absolutely awesome. And he was a really great guy, and as you can tell, I'll even go ahead and say this is my first pickup of the actual convention. I got myself a Gaming Historian shirt. Absolutely awesome. I love this shirt to death already. Fits perfectly too. Nice big 2X for a big guy like me. Oh, of course, how could I forget Thor Ackerlin? Thor Ackerlin was there, and I actually got to watch him play Tetris a little bit. That was a pretty surreal experience. It was really cool to meet him, and I'm going to go ahead and show off one other thing. This is my copy of Tetris, but if you notice, I got Thor Ackerlin to sign it. Yes, cliche of course, but who wouldn't want their copy of Tetris signed by the Thor Ackerlin? So, can you blame me? Nope. Now we're going to get on to the actual pickups, and we're going to start with t-shirts. I already started with the Norm Gaming Historian one, and this is actually my vendor badge that I'm moving around and tossing around. But, of course you saw the Gaming Historian shirt. I have two others, and we're going to start with this shirt that I actually got for free because earlier you saw a clip and you actually saw me kind of show off the shirt, if it showed up well or not, I don't even know. But I went and I completed a quest during RetroGameCon, and I bought a couple games for a friend. He gave me some money. I went and bought the games. I was even able to save him a little money on it. And in return for making this purchase, they actually gave me this shirt, Scum Resellers 2016. Now, the people who run this is like a Facebook group, which I have yet to add myself to, but I'm probably going to do it right after I'm done filming. They also have a store called Play It Retro. Now, they're based out of Illinois, somewhere in the Chicago area, I believe is what they told me. But this is this Facebook group that they have started called Scum Resellers, and this is a really cool shirt. I love it. I can't wait to wear this one. Then next we have another shirt, and of course I waited until the last minute, and it was probably the best last minute purchase I made, and that is a RetroGameCon t-shirt. Why not? I have one from last year, but this one is actually going to my best friend Molly. She really couldn't make it, unfortunately, but I came back with this as a souvenir for her, so she was really happy to hear about it. She kind of knows what it looks like. I believe she's seen the logo, so she's really excited to get that, and I was really happy to get it for her. I actually got that for only $10 because once we were winding down towards the end, they were kind of fire sailing the t-shirts, and I was more than happy to pick that up. Okay, we're going to get into a couple other gaming but not games pickups really quick. Unfortunately, this is one of my favorite things that I got from the entire convention, and if the person who gave this to me is watching this video, please feel free to point out how big of a dumbass I am, because I cannot for the life of me remember your name, but there was a guy who came up to my booth. I did offer to film him for the video, but he was not 100% comfortable being on video, and I completely understand. But came in my booth, and he was wearing one of these, and I really wanted one. I've been seeing them the entire convention. I believe they came with the VIP passes for people who bought VIPs, and it made me want to go and buy a VIP pass, but I didn't know they were coming with it at the time. And when I told him, hey, I love your lanyard, I've been looking around seeing them everywhere, and I've been dying to get one. And he goes, well, I'll give you mine if you really want it. I have more just like this one, so I have no problem giving it up to you if you really want it. And I was touched. I was going to offer him something, but he said, feel free to just take it. It's all yours. And of course, it is a lanyard for Wii U. I absolutely love Nintendo stuff, and the Wii U is my favorite current generation console, part in which because it's the only current generation that I own, but I love Nintendo products, and I love the Wii U. It does not have third-party titles to save its life, but its first-party titles knock it out of the park every single time. So I actually absolutely love this, and I'm going to wear this for the rest of this video. It's not going to be attached to anything, but I don't care. Next, towards the end of day one, I noticed there was a table that just had a bunch of stuff sitting on it, and I went to go take a peek. I'm naturally curious like that, and I found this stack of posters, and I don't know why, but I grabbed a bunch of them, and they're double-sided, but on this side you have Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Got a nice big layout of battle scene kind of going on. You got Mewtwo in there and some other Pokemon I don't recognize because I haven't followed Pokemon in a long time. But on the flip side, this is the main reason why I picked one up for myself, and that is a Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. It says it's dangerous to go alone, and it's got that nice big Triforce in there. I was super, super happy to find this. This is definitely getting framed at some point in time and put somewhere in this game room or in my next game room, or it'll just come with me forever. But I did pick up a stack of them. This is only 2 of them that I have here, but I have a couple more that I wanted to give to a couple friends because I know they'd really appreciate it as well. So I went and got those. Like I said, I think I have like 2 or 3 more on top of this. I definitely didn't need them all, but why not, huh? I believe we'll stick that right here for the rest of this video. And if it falls, whatever. Okay, now onto the stuff that you probably really want to see, and that's the games and stuff like that. So let's move on. This I found for $1. I don't... See, there they go already. This is not something that I normally see, and I normally don't pick up. I don't really have a use for it, but it's just a cool little thing, and it has the Nintendo stamp of approval for me. This is actually a Nintendo 64 RF modulator, and as you can see, I paid $1 for it. I was more than willing to pay $1 for it. Unfortunately, it is just this part, and like I said, I don't really have any use for this, but if my Nintendo 64 cord ever craps out, and I really want to, I can literally just stick this in there, and then I can use my NES or SNES RF cord to put in the RF out, and I can play my 64 like that as well. It's just a cool little piece, and it has Nintendo on it, so again, why wouldn't I pick it up? It's a little cool little trinket. I like trinkets. We're going to try and move it along a little quicker. I don't want this video to be 45 minutes long, so I already showed you Tetris, so I can get that out of here. This was legitimately the first pickup that I picked up at the convention. Another $1 purchase, and I think that's a really good deal for this, even though it's a sports title, but it's a sports title I enjoy so very much, and I know most of you probably do too, and that would be Blitz, NFL Blitz on the 64. It is not by any means in the best shape, but it was $1, and Blitz for $1, you can't beat it. It's got some really bad damage on the back. Some of it's the label ripped off, and some of it's just sticky residue from other stickers. Just take some Goo Gone to get that off. I can get this looking a little bit nicer, minus the one ripped on the back. But the front of the cartridge looks pretty good. And the top bit's got a little marker, but that's not too bad either. Next, I went to a booth and I found manuals. And I actually picked up this Tetris manual, conveniently enough. I believe I paid $1 for this, and that goes really well with my Tetris. All I gotta do is just put it in a nice protective sleeve, and I'm that much closer to getting this complete, not to mention Thor Ackerlin approved. Let's go with the other manuals I purchased, and believe it or not, I picked up a bunch of them. As you may know, there were 3 of these that I picked up. I picked up Blaster Master, which is one of my favorite games of all time on the NES. It was one of my childhood games, and as frustrating as this game can be and hard to beat, this is definitely one of my favorites on the system. But I picked up this one, I picked up Dragon Warrior on the NES, and Ice Hockey. And if I remember correctly, I paid either $1 each or $4 for all 3. Got them for a really good deal. Manuals are not easy to come by anymore. When we were kids, we kind of just tossed them to the side and they just got destroyed, or we threw them out. So, and these manuals are in quite good shape. I know at my booth I was thinking of selling my copy of Ice Hockey, and then when I saw the manual I was like, nope, I'm going to keep my Ice Hockey, and now I have the manual to go with it. Okay. And then later on, I went to another booth that were selling manuals at $2 a piece, but they had some gems in there, ones that some booths have been charging like $5 for all night. One of them's the original Legend of Zelda for the NES. Very, very awesome game. Very hard though. But I got that for $2, and I got this Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. This one I think I might already have, but I didn't take a chance, and at $2, someone could use it. I could easily resell this for the $2 and get my money back and give this to a collector who could really use it. And then next, I picked up a nice big stack of manuals, and I technically paid $0 for it. But the main reason for that is because when I went to this person's booth and I picked out all these manuals and I asked, how much do you want for them? He threw me back a number that I was not happy with, simply because I don't want to pay $100 for manuals. Not to say that he wanted $100 for these, but he definitely wasn't going to give me these at like $1 a piece. But he was essentially giving me some quality manuals, and he was giving them to me at a very good price. Some of them I needed, some of them I figured I'd never see again, so I had to pick them up. However, instead of paying with money, he came to my booth and picked up a couple things, and I know one of the bigger ticket item that he got from me was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time, which I already had selling at the booth for under retail, and he took that and one or two other cheap things, and I got all these for technically just that, which I think is a good deal. I was not using the Turtles in Time, I already have it. So, moving on though, I got a copy of The Little Mermaid, then we got Kirby's Adventure, I got a manual for Tetris Attack, which is a really awesome puzzle game that I still don't have in my collection, but this was very nostalgic. My best friend Adam used to beat the shit out of me in this game, but he was making me a better player as it went. Then I found one for Rocko's Modern Life, which I simply picked up for 90s nostalgia. This was one of my favorite shows growing up. I got an awesome instruction manual for the Super Nintendo. I love that. And then he even had one for the Super Nintendo controller. Then these three were the cream of the crop. This game I missed out on at my local game store back like a year and a half ago. This is for Paladin's Quest. Another game I'm on the lookout for, but I need to find it at a price that I'm willing to pay. That's Lost Vikings on the Super Nintendo. And then for one, I picked up at a convention just before RetroGameCon last year. That would be Super Punch-Out on the Super Nintendo. So I picked up that nice stack of manuals for nothing technically, but I got manuals galore, and I am just super excited. I didn't know if I was going to pick up any games at this point. At this point, the only game I picked up was NFL Blitz, and that is it. This game was, I believe, one of the last games I actually picked up. Grimsie42 Scott, him and his friend, I believe his friend's name, oh boy, is Brian. Please murder me in the comments. I apologize. But he, at the very last minute, at the end of the convention, decided to lay out some games that he had not put out, and one of them was one that I have been on the hunt for, and I actually missed out on last year's Salt City Collecticon. And that is Goof Troop on the Super Nintendo. This looks like an awesome puzzler, and not to mention it's a Disney game. I'm a sucker for Disney games, and most of them, Disney's Lion King's a phenomenal game. It's a little difficult, but it's a great game. Aladdin's phenomenal, Jungle Book, and of course Disney's Goof Troop follows suit and provides you with a really fun puzzler game that I can't wait to try. Next, we'll move on to a game I picked up from Grimsie, of course, and also that game, Goof Troop, was $15, as you could tell by the sticker that's still on it. Now, I'm going to move on to a game that I picked up from Grimsie. I kind of made it a point to buy something from Grimsie every time I see him. He always has some really great stuff, and last year, I believe at RetroGameCon, I picked up Brutal Legend on PS3. He had it for just $5, and it's been growing up in price, retail-wise, so I picked that up right quick and in a hurry. This year, I found another game that it's by Hudson Soft. Wow. It's by Hudson Soft, and I absolutely love this series. I've never played the NES game, so I figured I'd pick it up and give it a shot, and that is Bomberman on the NES. And honestly, NES games were not really on my radar at all, but Bomberman, for 20 bucks, I couldn't pass it up. And yes, I haggled, well, not really haggled, but I basically told Grimsie, hey, give this to me for $20. He had it for 21. I told him, give it to me for 20. He said that it was absolutely fine. So, that was great. Thank you, Grimsie. And now, the one thing that I was looking for at this convention, and I was super, super, super happy to find it, it is not an actual game, but it is the set of the security bits. It's the, I believe they're the 3.8mm security bits is what they really are. But basically, for those of you who don't know, and everyone pretty much should at this point, these security bits, they make it so you can open up cartridges for your old games. One of these is specific for opening up NES, Super Nintendo, and N64 games, and these other ones are for more of the handhelds like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. I'm sure they open up more things, but those are that's the main reason why I got these. I was lazy. I didn't want to go online and pay $5, probably without even shipping, and then wait for them to come. With RetroGameCon around the corner, I took the chance that there might be someone selling these, and I believe River City Retro was selling a bunch of these. I actually picked up 2 for my friend Bill, in case if he needed them. So, thank you, River City Retro, for furthering my laziness. You know what? I meant to put some of this stuff up here. And for the last thing that I have to show you that I picked up, this was not even on my radar pretty much at all, but I saw this at the very beginning of the convention, and I waited and waited to pull the trigger on it. Honestly, I was pretty much going to pass on it, But I asked the guy if he still had it because I saw it. It was on Sunday, and I saw that he had it. It was in a Ziploc bag, and it eventually got moved. I saw that he still had it, and I pondered it, and as I was about to leave, he comes up to me and says, "Hey, I saw you were looking at this. You can have it for $10. It was originally marked for $15. He said you can have it for $10. And I sat there and thought, I really can't do any better than that, and I was super happy to pick it up. It is a copy of Mario Paint for the Super Nintendo, and it has this nice cool case on it. Now, you're probably thinking, $10 for a copy of Mario Paint is probably what it goes for. Why did it take you so long to pull the trigger on that? It's about retail. It's simply because it came with its mouse that's in pretty good shape, and also, more importantly, I thought, it came with the board that comes with it, where you put the mouse on it and slide it around. For the entire thing, he wanted $15. Now, this part, I don't ever see. I always see a package with the mouse, and $10 or $15 is a normal price for it. But to see the actual Nintendo branded little mouse pad thing here, I never ever see it for $10. So without hesitation, after he said that, well, maybe a second, I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick this up. It'll be a great addition to my collection. And I think the icing on this cake was that he had this all nice and wrapped up in this nice protective case, which I might take the Mario Paint out of and put a different game in there. But definitely a really cool buy. I was super happy to pick it up. We're gonna sit that bad boy right there. But that is it. That is my pickups from 2016's RetroGameCon. I really hope that I can make it next year. I'm super excited. Everything went great. Thank you again to everybody that I met, everyone who ever came up to the table, ever said hi, ever bought anything from me. It was absolutely great to meet all of you. Extra thanks again to Bill and Roger. It was great seeing Nate, Grimsie42, Pete Dorr, Shane from Rerez, Grafx Gamers, and so many more people. I can't name them all off the top of my head again. It was just absolutely great seeing everyone, and I can't wait for next year's convention. Until next time, guys, you guys take care. Oh yeah, of course, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, thumbs up, and comment down below, tell me how big of an idiot I am. Wonderful. You guys take care.